What's cracking, everybody, and welcome to episode 235 of the Good Kraken podcast. I'm one of your hosts here tonight, Arnell Pearson, alongside the man who actually is looking pretty damn good today. Your camera's looking awesome today, Devin. Brevin, the dude. How are you, Mr. Five-Star Man?
Yes, of course.
Oh, shit. I'm like dropping shit on other shit. Dude, fuck, man.
Hey guys, I got something to say real quick.
Yes,
Just
what's
real
up?
quick.
What's up?
Just 2 words.
Fuck the police coming straight from the underground.
Nice hogs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nice hogs.
Nice hogs. Nice hogs, boys.
Yeah, nice hogs.
Nice hogs.
Nice hogs,
Yeah.
boys.
We're all
Nice
had it up
hogs.
tonight. DJ
Yeah.
specifically is extra had it up tonight.
Yeah.
That's I'll get to you, Devin. How's your week going?
It's going. I've been working a lot, like a lot. I got to work the Bless the Fall show the other night. That was fun.
Very nice. How was Blessy?
Oh, very good, very good.
They
Kingdom of
phenomenal
Giants
live. Good band.
was sick too.
Yes.
Kingdom of Giants
yes.
did really
Very
good.
band. Yep.
Yeah. It was a good night. Caskets played too. Caskets was good.
All
yes,
good band.
yes.
All good band. That's a good bill.
Yeah.
Caskets
and
from Japan, I think.
UK.
Yeah,
UK.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, and Dragged Under as well.
Ah, yes.
Not familiar with him.
That's
Hey, you would like them.
That's a pretty
he would
good band.
like.
That's a pretty good band.
He would like them.
honestly.
It's like if you took Blink 182
If you took
Yeah,
Citizen
Okay.
No.
All right. Okay.
and meshed them with
and meshed it with
Stick
a
to
Day
Your
to
Guns.
Remember.
I
No,
love
Day
that.
to Remember. It's literally Blink
I was
182
just-
and a Day to Remember
I was just being
put together.
facetious, but yeah. All right. I was the same Citizen because you like them.
You know, Stick to Your Guns is coming here with Comeback Kid, and they're playing at Hawthorne Theater.
Holy shit. They basically like gave you a wet dream and then said, hey, we're doing a show. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
Also,
like
Movements is playing at Wonder Ballroom, which I also work there, so I get to go to that for free. Yeah. yeah. Also, Polaris with Currents and Varials and Unity TX is coming to Hawthorne Theater.
it's really funny because you're like, we're saying a bunch of names and DG's just like,
Yeah.
names.
I know.
Yeah,
He's
Lots
like,
of-
those
lots of
are
words.
all musicians, I'm
those are
sure.
I know-
those are words. Yeah.
I know those are words. Those are definitely
Those-
words.
Those are all some pretty sick bands, though. they
Yeah,
all do
they
slap.
are.
They do.
They
They
are,
do.
man. But speaking of some pretty sick shit, we have the king of snacking, the snack king himself, Garrick Bartholomew Ida.
Snacking.
How are you, good sir,
Good.
Garrick?
Pretty good. It feels like Wednesday. Is it anybody else? Anybody else?
Yeah. No, you're right on that. You're actually so right.
Today was a rough day at work, if you will. Yeah, it was definitely a Wednesday at work.
Dude, I don't know. Like, I just felt like my Monday was great. Like, no issues with Monday. It felt like I woke up today. It felt like I just skipped Tuesday altogether. And I was just like, yeah, today's Wednesday, and I'm like, of course I knew it was Tuesday because like I'm here.
And there's only
You
two
know,
of us
but,
wearing
like,
pink.
But dude, it was just one of those like I don't know. It's just like it's just been one of those weeks where like it's already. I was just like, is it Friday yet? And I think it's because I'm like very aware that like my summer is over in 2 fucking weeks, and like it's I can feel it creeping to a fucking close, and I hate it.
Devin, what's
I have tomorrow off, and then I don't get a day off till Tuesday.
up? Love
That sounds
for you.
awful, brother.
Love that for you.
I'm sorry.
That sounds terrible.
The pay sounds great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. At least you're
Yeah.
loading your pockets, buddy.
And 3 of those nights I'm also working at venues.
Oh, wow.
So I'm about to.
So you're
I'm
working
about to
and then you're
put in-
working.
Yeah, I'm about to put in like, let's see,
1 big PP.
about 60, about 64, 65 hours in the next week.
Well, you're certainly going to be flossing us. But speaking of flossing on us, we have the man with the Barbie hat today. The legend, the man, our little
The
baby
legend.
boy. We got him. It is DJ
That's me. Hey, that's me.
DJ. Brrr, what's happening, dog? How you doing?
Wow. I'm doing good. I went to bed at 7:47 a.m.
Bro, you didn't. Okay, I'm sorry. You didn't fucking go to bed. You took a goddamn nap.
DJ, what the
No,
fuck, man?
no, I slept. I slept.
What the fuck,
I slept
man?
from 7 till 4. Okay, so I slept. I
Sounds
slept. Anyway,
awful.
but no, it was awful. I was for the last few days, one of my good IRL friends went like completely radio silent for the past 5 days. Like couldn't contact them on their phone or Discord or
They
anything.
got taken by the aliens.
So that's what I thought, man. I tried not to assume the worst. Thank God I didn't, because well, they called me or they texted me last Friday saying if there's an emergency, can you please pick me up? And they live 2 hours away. So I drove. I was 30 minutes, almost 30 minutes there, like 30 minutes left of my drive, and then they're like, you can turn around. I'm like talking to certain people and getting it settled. I'm like, are you
Clap
sure?
your ass cheeks, turn around, clap your ass.
Like I'm like, are you sure? Like I can still wait to come get you if you need it. And they're like, no, you can turn around. And that was the last thing I've heard from them like since that day.
That's alarming.
So I thought, yeah, no, I was been worried.
Yeah,
I've been
that
losing
sucks.
sleep because I'm like, I even devised last night. I devised an entire plan. I was like,
Get a gun.
okay, I can. Yeah, like I'm gonna drive over there. Like I'm gonna make up some story or something, like some scenario
Yes.
where I could like
Grab them,
check
get
in
them
on
in the car,
on the
drive
house.
to the Winchester, and let it all blow over. I don't think he got that, guys. I fucking hate everything.
Yeah, no,
Shaun of the Dead. No, okay, all right.
yeah, no.
I forgot.
Did not watch that
DJ's
movie.
uncultured. Anyways, continue. Are they okay?
Anyway,
Checks out.
but they're alive and they're okay, and
Okay.
that made me really happy. But they as soon as I finished thinking up the plan, it was like 6:40 something in the morning, and then they texted me back. They messaged me back on Discord. I'm like, oh, thank God you're alive. Like I was about to do something crazy if I didn't hear from you in like the next 24 hours. So so I could finally sleep, and now I'm here.
Well, I am glad that they were alive and okay, just like you folks at home are alive, okay, and okay, because today we're talking about punting squirrels, Idris Elba being perfect as always, Xbox shooting for the stars, and much, much more, because this is the Good Kraken Podcast, your choice for all the nerdy video game and pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you want to hear live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and Saturday at 12 p.m. If you're on this wave, you can head on over to our Discord channel where you can check in on your friends. You can submit questions and topics of the show, get exclusive post-show content, and soon have early access to episodes before they go live on podcasts and video services across the digital sea.
Yard.
Thank you, gentlemen. But if you've emptied your pockets for the latest and greatest in entertainment, that is totally fine. You can watch us record the show live right here at twitch.tv/GoodKraken Show. If you have Amazon Prime, you also have Twitch Prime, DJ.
Prime Gaming.
And we would love for you to give that to us to help keep us pushing content out for all of you that are listening or watching at home. Or you can support us by going to our YouTube channel, by clicking that beautiful bell and big red button, or by subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Good Kraken with an exclamation mark and leaving a review there.
Review.
Wow, that was surprisingly not loud. I appreciate that. That did not shake my very soul the way that they were before. Garrick!
Fucking vein vibrate, dude. So.
Oh, we have some captain's orders, my friend.
do we?
So, we have a little bit of a schedule change going on for this week as well as the rest of this month. So, unfortunately, Gran Turismo, the new hit blockbuster film Gran Turismo, got delayed to the 24th.
Making
Devin.
some nostalgia right on in
I
there.
have a protest on this movie now.
dude.
During
DJ
the
and I-
writer's strike, you're gonna
DJ and
protest
I
Gran
had-
Turismo. What the fuck is wrong with you?
So I actually found out something that's very not good about that movie.
Oh,
So there is an event in this movie where a spectator dies, and apparently that actually didn't happen at all during the upbringing of the driver. This scenario didn't happen till 2 years after he's already been a professional driver. So they
okay.
took an event that's 2 years after the events that are taking place in this movie and found a way to write it in using the same person's name and everything.
So a movie
And
about
and
a
people
real
are
life
very
thing
upset.
was
Yeah, about people
dramatized.
dying.
Oh,
No, about a very specific person dying, where that event didn't take place at all during what this movie is covering. It actually happened 2 years later. Like it's a real thing that's happened.
Well-
that they forced into this storyline that did not happen during these actual events.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Like,
actually.
It's,
yeah.
it's a little icky.
So I am
pretty
actually protesting this movie now.
Oh, well, I hope that works out for you. I hope it works out for
It
the
will.
actors first before you. But
And a lot of people are upset. Like a lot of
yeah,
people
well,
are upset about
listen,
it.
nobody
including
had high hopes for this fucking movie. Okay,
the
let's be real.
likes. I thought it looked good until I found out about this. I thought it looked like that was like a hard 7 out of 10 looking movie. I mean, it got Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, I know. Do we need Legolas in a fucking video game car racing
He's
movie?
not just
Probably not.
Legolas.
He is
Like,
just
come on.
Legolas.
That's
Let's
all
be
I know
real.
him from.
Let's be
Honestly,
fucking real
honestly,
here. He
that's
is
all
just
I know him
Legolas,
from.
all right? You know what I mean? He's more Legolas than he is fucking pirates. You know what I mean?
I still haven't seen any of the Pirates movies.
Okay, guys, our schedule for the rest of this month got a little bit weirdly moved around because of said delay as well, where we will be reviewing on the 25th for Gran Turismo instead. But this Saturday, instead of Gran Turismo, we will be doing our review of The Last Voyage of the Demeter instead, a movie that all of us are actually pretty hyped to see because the movie looks fucking sick.
There's on a motherfucking boat, dude. Let's go.
Let's fucking go. Fuck you, Devin.
It's my suggestion. What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. Guys, please check out our spoiler-free review of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem on YouTube and your podcast service of choice. Our man DJ and our boy Garrick got together and they talked all about the Ninja Turtles.
Was it
And
good?
and I forgot to do my write-in. Actually, I did my write-in,
so
but I
good.
forgot to
Is
give it
it?
to them.
I want to see that. I want to watch
good.
that movie. Watch that movie.
Was telling Garrick last night that I was almost glad that I didn't do my ride-in because it would have bogged down your guys' score because I gave it a 7. But
You told me you gave it a 9.5.
nah, I changed it
What
after
do you
having,
mean?
after
You
having
had
some
it
time.
drop from 9.5 to 7.
After
What
having some time to
prompted
think
you?
about it, after stewing on it, you know what I mean? Like I had to think
Ernell,
about it.
you should just go sit on a fork.
And
Like,
then
I understand if it was like a 3-hour movie and then you realize like some acts weren't that strong, but it was an hour and 30. How
No,
did you?
instead it was an hour 30 minutes, and I realized that some of the acts weren't strong. But
He probably
let's-
fell asleep when he was watching it.
yeah, wide awake, wide awake,
Sure.
wide awake. Yeah,
Damn.
Sure.
yeah.
Well, we said on that episode, we said you gave it a 9.5. So that was that.
That's fine. We'll take it. We'll take it. You guys lied to the audience. That's fine. That's your guys' fault. Guys, lastly, we are all in a particular situation where we pay for a lot of this stuff out of pocket. And we just
Like a
want
lot
to
of it.
reiterate for you guys, please subscribe to us on Twitch. Check us out on YouTube. Share around videos. Share around episodes to your friends and family.
Rate us 5 stars.
Rate us 5 star. All the stuff.
5-star
but,
man. 5-star man.
but mostly,
friends.
please check us out here on Twitch. Give us a subscription if you are wanting to vote with your wallet and support us. We use funds, as they come to help pay for, us to go see movies, for us to review, for us to buy video games that we want to play and stream for you guys at home. So the more you guys are able to support us, the more available we are to be able to do those things. So I just want to make sure that we reiterate it to you guys. Support as much as you are are willing to, we greatly, greatly appreciate it. Even you guys that don't financially put stuff in, we love you guys too. Just do what you can to spread the word to all your friends and family. Jesus Christ.
I'm totally kidding.
With that said, Devin, I'm gonna make you do this one. Devin, what are we doing next?
You sure about that? You sure about that?
You already had the hand up, so you might as well fucking put it on something.
The audio listeners don't need
You have
to know.
hands?
You have hands?
Devin
Yeah, I
has
know,
hands?
right?
What
Have
are
hands?
you talking about, dude? So you gotta take your hands and put it on the deck.
You nub?
Hands on deck.
Nubs on.
Nubs on deck. Yeah.
Nugs on
now,
deck.
Now we're being a little
Nugs
gross.
on
We're teetering some gross stuff.
Yeah,
So
we're
for
on a
hands on
fence.
deck tonight,
I was
we
talking
have,
about weed. I said nugs on deck.
I thought you were talking about chicken nuggets. I was like, why do we have nuggets on deck?
Let's
gross
move
about
on.
Dino
Let's move
Nuggies?
on. So for hands on deck tonight, guys, we have a loaded carousel of stuff for you guys, a plethora. Sorry, guys, I hit the wrong one.
Someone turn off the lights. No way. Oh
I
my
was in the
God.
darkness, man. I was in the darkness. Like,
Ernell,
if
turn off
if
the
we were there
lights.
like 2 seconds longer,
I just would have sounded like this more.
It muted our mics because I have it auto set up to do that. So when I hit it,
Shit.
I was like, oh fuck, God, fuck, and nobody at home heard it. So it's just. I'm glad you guys heard me. Anyways, for hands on deck, we have a plethora of reviews to get through. So we're going to move through it quick, get our questions in. Gentlemen, for all of us who have review the stuff hands on segments today, let's try to be quick and snappy about it. So we
sir.
are starting out first with our man DJ, who has been playing a game that is very, very popular right now. DJ,
popular.
tell us a little bit about Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate 3. My people at home, if you're a fan of D&D or you're a fan of RPG games or you're just a fan of gaming as a whole, this is a game you have to indulge in. This is one of the games of the decade. Okay?
Okay.
All
All right.
It is the best game in the last decade. You will not get like this level of open-endedness, this level of role-playing, and this level of just satisfying combat, dialogue, and writing in any other game that has come out in the last 10 years.
Okay.
I have synced in 50 hours of this game.
Oh shit.
50 hours.
Wow.
And I'm only in Act 3.
Oh my god. Okay. Oh,
It took me 40 hours to finish Act 1 and 2.
Oh my god.
And the way the story is going, there is like probably an Act 4. And the way this game is playing out and the way the story is, the way you can approach any situation and any problem, any quest, this feels like Larian Studios, the makers of Baldur's Gate 3, they're just faithful to their roots. And what I mean by that is the original 2 Baldur's Gates were made by BioWare. And you guys know BioWare made the Mass Effect games. And everyone who's played the Mass Effect games loves that role-playing aspect of those games and how their choices matter and how they've kind of pushed the industry forward in that sense with games, with choices in games and how it affects the grand like story of it all. This game is that times 10. Every little detail, every little thing is thought about, and the developers were like, let's just do it. Let's just fucking do it. This game has been in development for 6 years, 3 years in early access, listening to play testers and people who play the early access, and they're like, and listening to their feedback and adding things into the game accordingly, and it is paid dividends. I've seen people even buy the game out of just solidarity as a message to every other AAA developer out there. It says, this is what we want from games. This is what the effort that we like from video games. No microtransactions, no paid cosmetics, no battle pass, no DRM. This is a true game and a true gaming experience. Or no?
So, what is so? I don't know if you played Baldur's Gate 1 and or 2. If you have, fucking great, because those games are amazing.
Yes.
So, what is our story here? What is our main character doing in this game that makes this story so amazing? You have
Dude, so
2 minutes. Go.
2 minutes. Okay, so you can either create your own character or you can pick from a list of origin characters that you also find throughout the story as your companions. You can pick some of these origin characters and they have their own stories with them. And basically, you all get abducted by these being called mind flayers, and like they're like fucking octopus people. If
Yeah.
you guys don't
Yeah.
know D&D,
Cthulhu.
Oh, I know what a
Mind
flayer
flayers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
for those who don't know, they're like Cthulhu-looking creatures, alien tentacle-looking creatures,
But
right?
they're like sorcerer guys. Yeah, it's
they're
kinda
like
weird.
They're humanoid sorcerers, but basically they've abducted you to and they infect you with this parasite.
They all just want to suck your dick. They're
Tadpole.
just sucking your dick. Just
This tadpole that apparently
Hand jobs with tentacles.
turns you into a mind flayer so that you can serve under them and
Because they're a
conduct
hive mind being.
conduct seramorphosis, which is the process of becoming an ithilid creature. Basically, the nautiloid that the ship that you've been abducted on gets attacked after traveling into Avernus, which is hell, basically, and is attacked by a demon. And so the tadpole that's in you, the parasite that's in you, doesn't manifest all the way, and you are protected by another being that wants to save you from becoming an ithilid. And then you start. So the ship crashes, and you meet your first two companions, and you start your story after you crash land on the outskirts of Baldur's Gate. So, like, towards the outer lands of Baldur's Gate. And as you progress through the story, you are trying to make your way to Baldur's Gate with your companions and trying to find out who can get rid of the tadpole that is in your brain.
we call those.
And then there's
sperms.
other players, and there's other players here that will try to convince you, like, hey, why don't you use the tadpoles to give you extra powers at the cost of like decaying your brain, right? So there's different choices you can make depending on how you want to go throughout your campaign. You could kill other people infected to get their tadpoles and consume them to get stronger powers, or you can just deny it altogether and try to go through and forego those powers.
Oh, I'm gonna be evil as fuck when I play.
And up to a point where you can even turn yourself into a rogue mind flayer, like a renegade mind flayer, to basically just embrace the seramorphosis and become all powerful. And like, there's so much to this game. I got 40 hours in the game and completed Act 2 knowing that there was other stuff that I just missed and I forgot to do because I wanted to get to Baldur's Gate. But man, there's just so much. This game is 122 gigs of pure content, front to back. You will not be bored playing this game. I've seen people who don't even play turn-based games and they enjoy it a lot. Or no?
Devin had his hand up. Go ahead, Devin.
Yeah. Two questions, quick ones.
Yeah.
One, you ever play Dragon Age Origins or Dragon Age Inquisition?
Yes, it's like that. It's
Yeah.
like Inquisition times 10. I
Yeah,
promise you, it's like that.
Good game. Good game. I sank like 200.
It's very similar in the sense of like romance options with the companions and the way the turn-based combat works. And it bases it off of Larian Studios' previous project, Divinity Original Sin 2, which I thoroughly enjoyed.
Did they do Tides of Numera too? They do that?
I have no clue.
I don't think so. I think that was a different. I might be.
That
wrong,
was
but don't
Obsidian.
quote
That
me
was
on
Obsidian.
Yeah.
That was
Obsidian, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was your other question?
Second question. On the companions and romance. Did you fuck a bear yet?
No, not yet, but I could have. So there is a druid. that you can save in the game, and it's completely optional. You can save this druid, and it's part of a side quest that if you save him, he'll actually join you in your party and be a part of the main quest. What's great about these companions is you can gather all of them, even though you can only have 4 in the party. The other ones will go straight to your camp, and you can return to your camp at any time to long rest. And Devin,
Does this means you got hoes in the game?
Okay.
yes, you can actually. The developers confirmed that you can not only have relationships with these characters, but even polyamorous relationships.
Holy shit! It's
if it
confirmed. You can have hoes in Baldur's Gate. Holy fuck. That's crazy,
Yes.
dude. Holy shit.
And each of these companions are so well written, and they have feelings. And I'll quote someone's review that I watched, or his experience, where basically one of the companions, Shadowheart, she worships the goddess of death, and while he was exploring, he stumbled upon an amulet that worships the goddess of light, and he just equipped the amulet, and then Shadowheart interjects and confronts the player, saying like, "Why are you wearing that amulet?" without even provoking any type of conversation. It's really sick how like the amount of detail, and these characters actually feel real. The immersiveness is second to none. Like, you will get lost in this game. I almost got lost before I got to the show today. I was like, "Oh fuck, it's 8:50. I have to get ready." It is this game is magical. This game is absolutely magical. Or no?
So I just want to ask one more question before we give
Yeah.
Garrick some space to ask a question, then we can kind of close out for
Mm-hmm.
you. So this game, as many of us have heard, is turn-based combat.
Yes.
I haven't played this yet, so are we talking turn-based combat a la Final Fantasy and JRPGs, where they're lined up in front of each other, or is this more like purely like Dragon Age in that sense?
It's like Dragon Age.
Real-time
If you
turn-based.
it's basically
Oh,
it functions
sorry.
just like a D&D type of combat style. So basically, if you get into a combat, every creature that is engaged in combat will roll initiative, and you don't have to go through that process. It just happens automatically. Like, they'll just roll initiative, and each creature gets a turn to they get one action, one bonus action, and a set amount of movement.
Oh, so it sounds like it's
Yeah.
not quite turn-based.
Yeah, it's not
Classically, It
turn-based.
is a tabletop combat. And
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
So
Like tactics.
So,
okay.
Yes.
yes. Yeah. So like, you can use your movement to jump or dash, foregoing your attack action or your spell casting action, and you can move around the set map whilst this is in combat. But you only have a set amount of movement depending on how much your character can move based on your stats, and other things. And it doesn't feel slow. I've seen a lot of people who get turned off of turn-based combat because they think it's like the Final Fantasy where it feels slow, like you're just taking your turn and it's their turn. This feels so fluid, and you feel clever when you figure out like, oh, like I can throw this bottle of grease over towards this group of enemies, and then I'll have my spellcaster throw fireball at the grease and light the ground that is greased. Or you can have someone call down rain, and then you strike it with lightning on your other character's turn. It is very intuitive, and it definitely builds off of Divinity Original Sin 2's turn-based combat. And it feels a lot more fluid, and it even goes by it somewhat quick if you set yourself up right. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Any more questions?
Garrick, yeah, did you have any?
Yeah, I did just want to ask one quick question about, because I feel like I see articles that like tell you how to unlock or how to like take certain class routes. But
Mhm.
one thing I haven't seen a lot of that does have me curious is like class and like build viability? Like what?
Yeah.
Like is there a meta for like? I know that might sound kind of interesting and be a weird because it's a single player game. But is there? Or I guess it is a multiplayer game. I forgot about that. Uh, does this have like a meta that you feel like you needed to push towards to be successful, or do you feel like you've been able to like be like, I just build your character the way that feels the way you want to and be successful?
There is a meta in the sense of like it will feel easier to control, but there is absolute like player agency when it comes to class building. Each so like there's of course the classic like D&D classes: fighter, barbarian, druid, bard, cleric, warlock, rogue, and ranger, um, and monk. Uh, and each of those classes have their own subclass, and you could also multi-class as well. So I
Okay.
could be a
Multipass?
Multipass.
multi-class. So I could be an elemental monk, and I could be like fucking the Avatar. But I can
Like
also,
D&D. Okay.
yeah, I can also multi-class into cleric. Like you every time you when you get to a level up or a certain level, you get to choose your feat, and you can multi-class into a rogue or a ranger type. So you can there's so much build flexibility. And even with the spellcasters, um like the clerics, the more you gain levels, it's like you get access to higher level spells, and you can even choose and like arrange your spell book because you only have a limited amount of spell slots and spells you can take. Um, and like you could as a cleric, you can also multi-class into maybe a warlock, so you'll get the benefits of being like a warlock initiate, um, with the main cleric class getting like uh more spell slots and all that stuff. It feels good. I do say like some classes feel a bit weaker in the earlier parts of the game than others.
Which would
I
make
chose a
sense.
fighter.
Yeah,
I
but I
chose a
was gonna say
fighter
if you
and
take the fighter route, that's like one of the safer routes in D&D. Where like early on, mage like later in the game, mages tend to feel much more powerful, while fighters like our melee stuff
yeah,
feels
but even then, I
kind of
think
falls off.
fighters are kind of weak because you're limited in amount of items that you're really getting early on, depending on
Mm.
where you're going. Um, but I think cleric is pretty strong. Clerics and druids are pretty strong throughout the game. Right now, one of my companions is a cleric at level 10, and she's like healing everybody and like is great support character, and the spells that she's casting are actually really helpful uh, at this stage in the game. Um, any other questions or
I
curiosities?
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, I got a question. Got a
Be
question.
quick. Be
Yeah,
quick. Go
Val,
ahead.
what's up?
You done yet? Kidding, I'm kidding.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Uh, did you actually have a question?
No.
Okay. DJ,
Okay.
what is your rating on this game?
This is this is a 10 out of 10, dude. I haven't even rolled credits on this game yet, and I don't think I'm close. I'm like halfway there. Um, this game is an experience that I think everyone should partake in. If you're a fan of RPGs, you're a fan of D&D, if you're a fan of just gaming in general, I think you'll love this game, and you'll fall in love with all its characters and everything that comes with. Um, there's so much to talk about this game. Like I can literally like have some anecdotes about like my playthroughs and all the little things. Um, like this short review won't do it justice. Like please go play this game, or find a friend that plays this game and just enjoy it with them. Also, 4-player co-op. You can have your own campaign with your friends and go through the story with your friends
That'd
as
be
well.
fun. That'd be fun.
Yeah,
Um,
I plan on getting on console when it comes out on PS5. So
DJ.
Also, controller support. Apparently, the controls on controller are not bad. They're not perfect, but like the way it's pretty intuitive on how you're able to cast spells and do actions. with the controller.
Okay.
So from what I've heard.
Okay, Devin, go ahead.
DJ, if you were to mainline the main quest, if that's all you did, they said it could take you anywhere from 75 to 100 hours.
Jesus
Yeah, and that's
Christ.
like coming from the devs who know what's in store for them. So, and like I've already reset a playthrough, so I'd say you'll get really good 100 hours, and you're compelled to, like, even now I'm like I'm gonna do a second playthrough of the game just to explore the things that I didn't get and like explore the options that I missed or ignored through this first playthrough of the game. It is that cool to me.
All right, dude. All right. Well, that is good to know, and thank you very much. I appreciate your candidness in regards to this game. So it sounds pretty awesome. I know that like all of us here are pretty anticipating wanting to play it ourselves too. We just don't have quite the availability to do so. So until it rolls
Dude,
out
it's a
on
time
Starfield's coming out, man.
I know. It's rough, man. I have like
I'm not gonna have any time to play any video
it's like
games.
Dude,
3 weeks to play
I'm gonna be
Baldur's Gate.
dual
for
wielding.
me.
I'm gonna be dual wielding Starfield and fucking Baldur's Gate like this, man.
That's
Fucking-
okay. Well, love that for you. So we'll move on here. So I have my review today, and I have been watching a show for the past 7 weeks. With my darling, actually 6 weeks technically, as the first 2 episodes went live at the same time. But on Apple TV, there is a show starring Idris Elba called Hijack. And this is a story about a guy named Sam Nelson, who is a corporate business deal maker. So he negotiator basically. He negotiates deals between corporate companies until the deal is finalized, and he helps convince people to come down to the terms of these deals. He is going on a flight heading back home from Dubai to the UK. While on this flight, 5 people suddenly hijack the plane. And this show is 7 episodes of the story of how these people are trying to handle this airplane getting hijacked as the A plot. The B plot is how everyone on the ground is handling this airplane getting hijacked. And the C plot being Sam's family being directly involved in this airplane being hijacked because the hijackers have found out who Sam is. So there is a whole process in which the first episode builds into the hijack itself and how it happens, how it gets set up, the involvement of the hijackers themselves and the people that they know. And then it moves into near the end of the episode when Sam gets up and says, "Let me help you," to the hijackers. Because as we know with his job as a negotiator, he is now trying to play fucking mind games with these hijackers in order to get everybody home safe to the UK. What we find out in early episodes is that this hijacking is happening for very specific reasons, involving people in the UK that have forced this to happen for their own reasons I do not want to spoil for you. This show was extremely, extremely fun. Idris Elba playing a character that is not just the martial arts badass or total fucking warrior that we see him in a lot of movies that he's in, was really, really cool because it felt naturally that everyone had stakes in this show. Anybody could be killed for any reason. Anything bad that could happen could very well fucking happen. The relationships that they plug with the hijackers and the people that are on the plane and their families, the people that are involved that way, is so well put together as far as all the pieces that are moving at the same time. We have, when I say the people on the ground handling the plane being hijacked, I mean government officials trying to ensure that this airplane makes it to the UK without crashing into a building. So I don't know if you guys know this, but when an airplane gets hijacked, ever since 9/11, excuse me, I'm burpy right now. Ever since 9/11, protocols have been very strict on if a plane gets hijacked and there's not these very specific steps done in protocol, fighter jets will shoot down that plane. Period. Point blank, period. A lot of people who fly planes regularly know this. And so there's this constant thing of like the hijackers have taken the pilot out of the cockpit, out of the co-pilot is out of the cockpit, and then they are manipulating the pilot to fly the plane where they want him to fly because they found out that he's been sleeping with the co-pilot, or no, one of the stewardesses, and they're using that against him to get what they want. And there's just like a whole reel of shit that's happening in the midst of this show, sort of unfolding the story step by step between the government officials trying to be like, how do we handle this without killing everybody on the airplane? But also, how do we do that without also risking the chance of these people smashing the airplane into the capital of England, right? And so there's a lot of conversations there. The hijackers have forced everyone on the plane to stop talking. They take all their cell phones. They shut off the Wi-Fi. They don't let anybody get up. And so there's a whole bunch of stuff going on there on the actual physical airplane that Sam is trying to negotiate with these hijackers every episode as we go through to try to get them to do what he wants. So there's moments where he's talking to the main guy, the main hijacker, who's sort of like running everything that's happening on the plane, and he's telling him like, you can't do this. You can't have the pilot just sitting here because the different air bases that are trying to contact us to see if we are a safe flight are doing so through his headset and asking for his codes. You have to have him fly this plane. And they're just like, fuck, okay, fine, god damn it. And so they throw his ass back in the fucking cockpit and then say, fly the goddamn airplane, I'm gonna blow your fucking brains out. But then the cross of everything, Sam, our negotiator, finds out that nobody actually has live ammunition. And he's trying not to tell anybody because he doesn't want people on the airplane to freak out and try attacking the hijackers, and then things go awry, and then their plane gets shot down. So you see how all these pieces are sort of like floating up in the fucking air, no pun intended.
You just spoiled like a really big thing.
No, it's the first episode. It's the first episode. But it becomes a talking point throughout the course of things, because eventually some stuff happens, you know what I mean? Let's fucking go, baby. So with that said, DJ, go ahead.
So you said that this is a show?
It is a 7-episode limited series, yes. So one season.
Okay. So I was gonna ask, like, how's the pacing with these 7 episodes? Because I feel like a lot of this can be condensed down into just a 2-hour flick.
Yeah.
So like how does it feel to like go through like this as on an episode basis? Does it feel awkward, or does it flow into each other like, back to back, like, if you binge this, like, it'll feel natural?
The reason I actually waited for the season to finish is so that I could leave the option for you guys to binge it, because this show is bingeable as fuck. We had a real tough time because they leave you on a heavy cliffhanger every single episode, every single one. So we would end every episode like, fuck, what is gonna happen? And so we were like, every Wednesday we were on top of this goddamn show. Every single Wednesday I was enthralled, dude, because of the way that they do all the hooks into the ending of each episode has you so grabbed that you're just like, fuck, I just want to know what the fuck's gonna happen here, because it ends on cliffs that are like the first episode, like I mentioned, ends with Sam standing up and being like, what can I do to help, right? And you're like, what the fuck? Why is he helping the hijackers, right? And then stuff happens in the second episode, and it ends on something happening to this person, and so on and so forth. Go ahead.
So like it cuts it just cuts like right in,
like Last of Us style hard cut when something heavy happens, and you're just like, fuck, why would you end there? God damn it, man. And so you're like really wanting to get into the next episode.
So would you say like this is like a show like you have to be like if you of course all the episodes are out now, but going through it every Wednesday, you're like fuck, like why would they? Was it like
tough time,
frustrating
man.
to just be like, oh come on, man?
Yeah,
like,
because I just
how do you
wanted
split
more.
this
I
into
just
7
wanted more. Dude.
episodes?
Exactly. Yeah. So we kept wanting more of it, and we kept like wanting and aching for that next episode to come out, and so we would be right on top of it when it did drop, and that's why, like I said, that's why I'm sitting here waiting until the end of the season before I present this to you guys, because I feel wholeheartedly that you guys would enjoy this show. Any of the fluff that you can imagine about an airplane being hijacked and the steps that are happening in that is padded with the B plot and the C plot. With the B plot being the government officials trying to navigate things. There is one specific character who is her name's Jamie, and she's an air traffic control person, specifically for the airport in England, and she's trying to. At first, when this airplane gets hijacked, nobody believes it because the hijackers are like took their phones and are saying, don't fucking talk to anybody. We turned off the Wi-Fi. Don't make any fucking phone calls. But Sam finds some way to get a phone call down to his, now ex-wife, technically, on the ground. And she calls her boyfriend, who is a cop, and says, hey, my ex-husband sent me this message. What do I do? And he's like, well, let me look into it. And he looks into it, and basically they decide that it was fake because they asked the pilot, and the pilot's like, no, that's not happening. Everything's fine. But it's not. He's saying that he has a gun to the back of his fucking head. And so the first few episodes are people like not believing that it's actually happening. And you're like, how the fuck are they going to fucking find out, dude? And so there's a lot of tension that's happening here between the airplane, the ground, and Sam's family. Because they're like, all these things are sort of integrated together. And it's beautifully fucking done. This is a 9 out of 10 for me. This is a 9 out of 10. This show is incredibly well put together. I'm thoroughly impressed that Apple TV had the chops to put
Is this their first?
No, I mean, they've done a couple of shows. I don't know what that show is with Jason Momoa, where he's like a blind samurai or some shit.
I think it's called C.
I think it's called C as well, yeah. That's also a show that's kind of like garnered a little bit of popularity, but this is the first one that I watched on Apple TV that I was like, yo, you know what I mean? Because when Netflix first did Stranger Things, and everyone was like, oh fuck, Netflix might actually have it, dude. You know what I mean? It's like that. It feels like that, where this show feels genuinely well directed,
now,
well produced.
I do have to ask.
Yes.
Since you said Stranger Things, is it on that level?
Of mega fucking hype,
like Stranger Things hype?
No, not quite Stranger Things hype. I mean, Stranger Things for me is a 10 because I thoroughly love Stranger Things. I think Stranger Things is one of the best things that have been written as far as TV shows in the modern day era are concerned. Just because of how creative it was and well put together, and like, some of us are D&D nerds, and the show is very much inspired by D&D. There's a lot of things there that could be a whole other conversation on its own. This hits a 9 out of 10 for me for a couple of reasons. One, because it is very grounded. Again, no pun intended, because airplane. But it's grounded in a severe reality that can feel a little bit heavy as you're watching it. We're like, fuck, I never want to fly in an airplane again. Because everything that happens in this show is like super viable. Where you're just like, fuck, that could actually happen, right? And these government officials could actually say, no, fuck that, we don't negotiate with terrorists, right? Like there's lots of pieces there that could be very like, ugh, I don't know about that. And then my half point lastly that I took off, the ending of the show has this really cool like gamified ending that's very like final boss fight level of like, oh shit,
how do you put a final boss fight in like
that's what I said too. I was like, oh fuck, this is so sick, dude. They did a final boss
played enough
fight.
MMOs.
That's what I'm saying, man. They did a fucking final boss fight in this show. But the not C plot, but like D plot. That sort of
deep plot.
the D plot that sort of interweaves everything together is sort of like left unexplained for like the aftermath of things. And that was the only thing that I was like, yeah, that could have done a little bit better. But everything else in the show is fucking dope as shit. So highly recommend. Highly recommend. 9 out of 10 from me, boys. So
Yeah, that's a shock, dude. Every Apple TV show looks. Every time I've looked at one, they all look the same. Like in
Right?
terms of like cinematography, I'm like, what filter are you guys using for like in the theaters? I don't know if you guys
with
got
an
the
Apple
ads.
iPhone. Didn't you need it? Did you know that?
filmed on the
I don't know
iPhone
if you guys got-
14s.
I don't know if you guys got the previews in theaters about that show with Leonardo DiCaprio, that Apple TV show, the White Savior, Let Me Save the Native Americans.
The
Apple TV
killer
show.
of the
Yeah,
Lily
It's
Moon or whatever.
Flowers of the River Moon.
Yeah, something like that.
Flowers
Some
of the
shit,
River
yeah.
Moon. Yeah. So I was like, man, that's gonna flop.
Yeah,
I don't care.
That's really,
I
that
don't
one's
care.
gonna flop fucking hard. Yeah, I know that shit looks
Yeah.
ridiculous, but yeah. Anyways, I highly recommend it, boys. Apple TV, I know is a hard sell. It's a hard sell.
Yeah, it is, dude.
I
The show
really,
sounds great.
what I would highly recommend is just pay for it for a month, burn through this, and then you're good.
I am considering.
And Apple TV typically has free trials left to fucking right. Just cancel it afterwards and wait until a new show comes out that is fucking lit.
I forget I have
again, you know?
Apple TV. I have the little
I could
like
probably
little
binge
box.
an episode. Right
Oh,
quick.
DJ's got it. He got it. Okay.
Yeah, I got the
Yeah.
little box. But it's in my living room. I never really. I'm never there.
I love it. I love it. So let's go ahead and move on to our last hands-on here. Big day, guys. Big day. Devin, you finally finished Star Wars Jedi Survivor. My man, you have about 15 minutes. Tell us all about the shits.
So, yeah. Oh, love you too, Birdie Bunsen. Yeah, he was at the Blessed Fall show.
Oh,
us a
sick.
hi.
What's happening, Birdie?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
happening, dude?
But yeah, so Star Wars Jedi Survivor. This game did come out right at the tail end of April, beginning of May. I played it a lot, like marathoned it, and then I just like sat on it for a while. Just got distracted, life, other games,
Sure.
like Daisy. But anyways, so this is a third-person action adventure game. This story follows Kestis. It's based 5 years
Uh-oh.
after the events of Fallen Order, and you are following his journey fighting the Empire as things grow like more like fuck. I don't know what to do anymore. That's pretty much what the game's like. Like shit, this game's getting worse.
Okay. All right.
You know, I mean, if you know the Star Wars story, you would understand.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And pretty much he finds himself with a lot of threats, you know, some of the same ones from the previous game and a lot of new ones. Now this game, it's going over the grief of that he has and the way that he's dealing with being one of the last Jedi, because he did survive Order 66. He was a Padawan during that time, so he saw everything. He saw it happen. So it's him dealing with that, and also dealing with loss of characters he has relationships with, you know, friends and stuff. And guys, this story is all canon, and I do think if you are a Star Wars fan, I think playing Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor is very important to understanding another part of the story. I do recommend it a lot if you are a fan of Star Wars. Now, there's some cool new abilities in this game. He gets grapple hook. There's a lot of double jumping. You get that a little bit earlier in this game. What I do like in this, you do start with a lot of the powers that you have from the first game, and they don't take them away from you.
Okay.
Actually.
Okay. All
So
right.
you start and you feel like a Jedi Knight. You know, there's a lot of games that you play that are sequels to other games, you know, especially like action RPG games and stuff like that, where you start the sequel, all of a sudden you're fucking starting from day one, you know. What Shane said, they don't Zelda you. If you guys have played Tears of the Kingdom, you would know.
Yes, of
I'm
course.
really interested to see what happens with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. because of this, actually. Um,
Oh, really? Okay.
yeah, think about it. This is it's a direct sequel to Final Fantasy VII Remake. And you became very powerful by the end of that game. So I'm interested to see how that's going into the second game and how that's going to go.
Sure.
But this story is good, guys. It's a fun adventure. It has some Indiana Jones to it. It has Metrovania elements to it. The action is beat by beat. It keeps going and going and going. It Yeah, what's up?
So just before you go further here, is this as Metroidvania as the first one? Because the first one was pretty fucking Metroidvania.
More
Yes,
so.
and has a planet that is very open world.
Okay.
Very open world.
Okay.
Garrick, I believe you've played some of this game, right?
Yeah, I haven't finished it yet, but I'm a little ways into it.
So you understand it is very open world on one of the planets.
It's like probably more Metroidvania than the first. Like there's a lot more opportunities to go back and do side stuff and loop back and it wants you to go explore really badly.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
There is a lot to this game, and you do unlock a lot of abilities that do grant you access to new areas in specific ways, too. You do get a lot of abilities for BD. Actually, your droid is still there, still kicking it with you the whole time.
Sure.
BD's
Okay.
great. They introduce a lot of new enemies in this game. Where in the last game, it seems like you're fighting the same like 10 things throughout the whole game. You know, there is a lot of different kinds of enemies in this game.
Okay.
There's a lot of different trader systems. There's a lot of NPC interactions. There's stores. There's main hub, of course, that isn't just your ship, the Mantis. There, it's still kind of like the first one where there's only like 6 planets you can go to.
Sure.
You know,
But you're actively going back and forth between those 6. Yeah.
exactly. And tons and tons of Easter eggs, just like Shane said, to the overarching Star Wars universe too. The mocap and the voice acting is very good in this game. Yeah, what's that?
So I hate to bombard with the questions, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
So I guess my big question here is because the end of the first one is like insane, right? Like we all were like, "Oh fuck!" Right? Like the first game. How does this game's story and ending to the story compare to the first one's bombasticness that we experienced there?
Okay, so let's think of it as a game of like 7 acts.
Okay.
Because those are like pinnacle like story plots. The very last act of this game makes you go. It's more of just a giant twist that just kind of puts some things like upside down.
Oh, okay.
There are definitely some oh fuck moments in this game
Yeah.
that are hype level.
We like some hype. We like some hype
Yeah,
moments,
yeah.
my boy.
Yeah,
Let's go.
that are hype level. Also, one thing I really liked about this game when it comes to gameplay is they introduced a ton of different stances. So you got your regular single lightsaber combat. You have your double-sided lightsaber combat. You get a claymore, which is like Kylo Ren's lightsaber.
Okay.
And yes, you can customize even the little emitters on the sides. You can customize those.
That's so cool.
You get dual wield like Ahsoka as well, like a bigger saber and a shorter saber.
Okay.
And you also get a blaster and a saber stance. And the blaster is also fully customizable, just like the sabers.
That's fucking rad. That's super fucking rad.
Yeah.
All right.
DJ.
So, since we're far from this game's like release date, and a lot of people who had issues with this game was mostly like technical, like performance issues.
Oh.
Did you since you completed it now, how has the game like held up? You know, have all the patches and stuff that they've added to the game, has it helped your performance, or did you get any type of performance issues at all?
I ran across some bugs. I did run across some bugs, which I think that is a reason why it took me as long as it did to beat this game. I did put in 35 hours to beat this game as well. This was 35 hours, and that's with doing some of the side content. Now, when I say I completed the game, I rolled credits.
Yeah,
There,
not
I
100%. Right.
I only did 60% of the game. Um,
Sure.
so
Okay.
this game is probably 60 hours when done at least. Now I ran into some weird bugs. I had one part after I beat a boss that there was like not a lift coming up to me so I could go back down and leave the area. That was one part. And as you guys know, this has a very Souls like element to it as well. That boss was not easy, and I beat them first try. I was kind of mad. I had to
That's
close my game.
that's
and
enough to chap
restart it.
anyone's ass, honestly.
Yeah. So I did that. Thankfully, I beat the boss again, um, on my first try. So I'm 2-0 on that one. So thank God. I'm doing a new game plus now, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see for sure.
Yeah.
But
For sure.
but I ran into that. I ran into a weird bug where like there's a lot of different outfits in this game that aren't just ponchos. So which is awesome. Like
God.
the customization is awesome in this game. You can do there's different hairstyles, different facial hair features. You could literally be running around with a mullet and a handlebar mustache in this game
Lav
if you want to.
kisses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My name's Cal Kestis.
Call me Callie.
Cali Kistasis. But you get different jackets, different shirts, and different pants. So on top of the customization with the sabers, the blasters, and your droid BD unit, tons of customization. I did notice there was no Mantis customization.
Hey, Osco. Oh yeah. You guys need to fulfill Esco's wish there in chat.
I did.
Oh yeah.
Continue, Devin. Go on.
So overall, I like the story progression. I do feel that the story in the first game is a little bit stronger, but not by much, honestly. Because I do want to give credit to Jedi Survivor and where it goes and what it sets up. And oh god, I really hope there's a third one because where they left off at, it is really fucking cool and does like set up a big future for what Cal could mean in the whole story of Star Wars. So if you're playing it right now, I highly recommend following through and finishing it, even if it felt like a slog for a little bit, because that open world can feel like a slog for a little bit.
Okay.
That first bit is
yeah.
definitely the most daunting bit because you're gonna spend like quite a few hours there, and then like the story kind of kicks in. You're like, oh, thank God, other planets.
Okay.
But
Alright.
they did introduce fast travel, so you can fast travel to all the little meditation points now.
Mm-hmm.
On every single world too.
Sick.
Every single one.
Fuck yeah. Okay.
But I think I would give this game a solid 8.5 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Only because Fallen Order got a 9, and Fallen Order is a little bit better, but I do think this game is still important, mainly for the story. The introduction of the new stances does make the gameplay more fun, especially that you can switch between them whenever you want, essentially.
Sure.
So
Sure. Sick, dude. All right. 8.5 out of 10 official from Derek. Not Derek, Devin.
Derek. You can derelict my balls.
I was thinking like Devin and Star at the same time because 5-star man. My brain had a weird warp there.
How does that make Derek?
The
Dar
record. Dude.
Star is nowhere in that.
Dar.
This was kind
Dar
of.
Van-
Anyways, Devin, the 5-star man, the inevitable one, gives it an 8.5 out of 10. Thank you for that, good sir. Even though it was a little bit late, I still thought it would be important for us to kind of talk about it a little bit. 'Cause this game did
Mainly,
need some updates.
people just need Yeah, mainly people should finish it. I know a lot of people were turned off with the bugs when it first launched, which understandably so. I did endure some of that. I was
I
getting
had a
frame
really
drops.
unfortunate one that
Yeah.
actually caused me to put the game down for like a half second.
Okay.
There was a sequence where you meet up with one of your previous companions for the first time again.
Oh, I know what this
Uh,
is. Yeah.
and there's some spicy stuff, kind of lots of cutscenes sort of mix in, and it gets a little
Happened to me
romancy in
too.
there. And dude, there was like a whole segment where she T-posed. I mean, straight up, full
Oh, I
legit
didn't have that
T-pose,
happen.
and she wouldn't move from place to place, so I couldn't finish the sequence. I had to keep reloading it and reloading it until she like fixed her animation because I couldn't get the boss to spawn until she came down to the room.
Oh God, what a
That's
mess.
crazy.
Hey, that's okay though. Hopefully,
It happens.
some patches here have potentially fixed this. So,
Oh, yeah. The
um,
last patch was at the end of June. They patched it like 5 times in June.
They've gotten some bigger patches too.
Mm-hmm.
yes, very very nice, very nice. It's good to have it here. Good to have it. So, gentlemen, let us move into our final headlining segment here. DJ, tell the people at home what we're doing next.
Well, listeners and viewers, if you want to be like us, you better protect your neck. Because we're going to the gallows. Bloody.
Gentlemen, tonight for our headlining segment, we have a very important conversation that needs to be had. A conversation that has been taking the game industry and game fans alike by storm. And that is one game called Starfield. Starfield. Devin, release date for me, please.
Starfield is coming out
September 6th.
Yep.
Thank you, DJ. I didn't realize your name was Devin. That's crazy.
Oh, sorry, I just had it pulled up already. I had it pulled up
he was ready.
already.
He was locked and loaded, baby. Let's go. September 6th, we get the hit game Starfield, less than a month away. And there's been a lot of conversations around Starfield, not just because this is Xbox's shining gem that they're really, really leaning into, but because we're less than a month away, and Xbox has seemingly, bear with me here, big quotes here, not really been marketing Starfield a whole lot. It's been a very, very big talking point with a lot of people saying, like, Xbox, where's Starfield at? Why haven't we heard about Starfield some more? What's Starfield doing? Is everything okay? Is there going to be a delay? All sorts of talk here. And I wanted to start out this conversation simply by saying, you're fucking idiots.
Thank you.
You're
Like, how fucking stupid could you really be?
morons. Okay, listen. None of us wholeheartedly, fully, 100% work in the games industry. This is how we work in the games industry, okay? Is by providing you guys information and reading up, studying ourselves, playing video games, enjoying them, and coming from that angle from a player's perspective. And even we know fucking better than to think Starfield is going to get delayed, let alone is not marketing itself.
Quite the opposite, man.
The
opposite.
well, if I may, I would go as far as to say Starfield did an hour-long production on what Starfield is going to be like, and they said, that's all you need. Because how fucking big does your cock have to be?
What I'm saying, dude. Like, they fucking, like, everybody's on Twitter. Where's Starfield? Why is nobody talking about? You're talking about Starfield. It's you. You're marketing the game for Microsoft right now. You're doing it. You haven't shut up about the game since that fucking presentation happened. And
haven't.
guess fucking what?
Yeah.
They're still talking. You're
Sure.
all over the Twitter sphere, you stupid little dum-dum.
Tell 'em,
You
Jared.
have single-handedly produced this game all over the internet
Yep,
with
tell
your
'em.
crying because Microsoft is leaning into the fact that there is no such thing as bad publicity. Talk about it all you want. all you want.
Tell 'em,
It's
Garrett.
still gonna show up
Tell
on
their
September
asses.
6th, baby. It's still gonna show up on September 6th, baby, and everybody's gonna be playing it, even you.
Even you fucking nerds. And it's going to be free on Game Pass, and you're all going to fucking play it exactly that way. And it's going to be fucking wonderful. I put in enough of my input for right now. Devin, your hand is raised, my friend. Jump in. What are your thoughts on Starfield not marketing itself? Oh.
It's been marketed a bunch. A bunch of people are complaining that it's not going to be playable at Gamescom. No Bethesda RPG is ever playable at a booth.
Ever.
They don't
Now-
play
now-
test that way. They've never play tested that way.
Now here's the thing. Microsoft may own ZeniMax and Bethesda, but they still have besides saying that, hey, this is exclusive to our console, curate it to our console and PC. That's pretty much all Microsoft says.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's what they say to Bethesda. They let Bethesda handle everything else.
It's still an
Microsoft's like,
autonomous
here's some
studio.
here's some money. Here's some money. Keep doing what you guys are doing. That's Microsoft to Bethesda. I want to go back to 2015 here real quick.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Take us on a journey through time, Devin, if you will.
Yeah. I'm taking all of you through a journey through time. This is when Fallout 4 was announced at E3 2015.
Ah, yes.
Now,
yes,
do you
yes.
want to know how much this game was talked about before the release?
Tell
It was
us.
announced exactly 5 months before its release date.
Yes.
Actually,
Yes.
5 months. 5 months.
Yes.
Now, another thing here, they just gave us some previews, screenshots, teaser trailers, behind the scenes videos, and so on. That's it. What have we gotten with Starfield? Some teasers, some screenshots, some teaser trailers,
Yep.
and a hour-long behind the scenes production.
Hour long. A full
Hour long.
explanation of how this
Yep.
game
Yep.
functions.
From all the developers, literally, like all of them.
Complete systems rundown.
A
Yep.
presentation that had literally all of us go from to holy
believers.
fuck, we need
Yeah,
to play this
believers.
game.
Actually, I was
we've
already
all
holy
watched
fuck.
it.
I was already
He
there.
was. Devin was already riding the fucking ship, but the
I
rest
mean,
of us
Has
were
anybody
like,
here
like,
watched
I
the
was
presentation
already
just
there.
once, though?
oh
I've
no,
watched
I
it more
watched it
than
3
once.
times. I've watched
Yeah.
it 3
Yeah.
fucking times, dude.
That
Now,
shit-
now,
I watch people reacting to that.
now, here's another thing.
Okay.
Fallout 4 had no annoying storyline leaks. Look at Starfield. No storyline leaks. No storyline overview.
Uh-huh.
All you know
Shut
is
the
you're a
fuck down.
guy that joins Constellation and you found an artifact. That's it.
And that's
That's
because
all
they
you know.
told us that's what happens.
Yep. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? Bethesda made a bunch of merchandise for Fallout 4 inspired by the game.
Yeah,
They
I
did the
don't
same
know.
fucking shit
Yeah,
with
well,
Starfield.
They have a marketing plan that they follow, and it works for them.
Yeah.
Yep.
It does.
Time and time again.
No canvas
Like,
backpacks though.
give it Todd
Yeah,
Howard.
we don't talk about
Fucking
that. We don't
yeah.
talk
Learn
about
from
that.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Also-
a rough time.
They did a whole perks guide for Fallout 4 before the game even came out. They also went over almost all the perks with us in that hour-long presentation. I just want to tell people to quit their fucking whining because Bethesda is doing what Bethesda does, and that's how Bethesda does. That's exactly what's happening. If anything, we've gotten more information this go around. Because all you motherfuckers are out there crying because the game got delayed a whole year so they could make sure that it is better. Have you seen the comparisons from when that game was announced originally to
Yeah.
now? Have you
Yeah.
seen the differences in the
No.
cities, the character models,
God,
the
dude.
way the texturing and how everything looks?
Lighting,
I mean,
man. It's all the lighting.
I mean,
lighting.
no, they even added way more detail and way more like
Yeah, of course.
objects and stuff. But I mean, probably let's be real. I'm sorry, Garrick, but you know the and or no, the previous is probably what Series X is going to look like. I mean Series S, but
No, I don't care.
You say that now, but some of these Xbox
hey,
Series S games have been looking
prove me
pretty
wrong.
fucking good.
But the thing,
prove it wrong.
Yeah.
I'm
but
with
just
it.
to
I'm with
piggyback
it.
off you real quick, like Devin, like just like a lot because a lot of people's like argument for this like is coming from like a place of like, well, the game got delayed. Like I just need to put this like into context, especially with this game. with any game, if in the year of our old one, 2023, you still get upset about delays, you don't fucking like video games. I'm sorry. You don't actually like games. You just don't. You don't actually like playing video games because you're not willing to be patient enough for the product to be complete and for the product to be in it within, because you got to realize for a lot of these developers, this is a piece of art and they're working their hardest to make it as beautiful as they can for you, the player. And you being shitty and crapping all over it because they're choosing to take more time to finish that piece, just you as a you're dog water. You're not a real gamer. You're not. Period. Blank. Period. You're not a real. You hate video games.
You're not just dog water. You're hot dog water.
Hot
Yeah,
dog water.
you don't like
baby.
games.
The hot.
I do want to
flavored
say,
water.
you know what game got delayed over and over and over and over, and it practically took like damn near 12 years to come out?
Not Viva Pinata. That game was perfect.
Viva Pinata is actually a pretty good game.
Duke
Pretty
Nukem.
damn good game. A very good game. Yeah.
No, Duke Nukem was not a good name.
It was
Duke
not. It
Nukem
was
Forever
not.
is not. No, it was very not.
10
I was
years
gonna-
in.
actually, Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah.
That was a
Cool.
tech demo
That's true.
for the
I've
PS3.
never even played
That's-
that game, and it looks like one of the best. And it literally is
You
touted
need
as
to
one
play
of
it.
the
It's so
best
good.
games ever made.
You need
and
to play it.
I have
God
I
damn
have
it.
Intergrade on my PC.
It's
I haven't
good.
played it yet.
It's good.
Yeah. You
I
gotta play those
streamed
fucking
it.
games,
I
DJ.
streamed it on PC when it
Yeah.
came out. I streamed it.
It's fucking good.
It's great. It's great.
Goddamn, what a game.
But I just want to say I'm not worried about Starfield in one bit. I'm not saying it's going to be the best game ever. I know it's going to be a good game. Just already from what I've seen, based on the mechanics of the game now, based on the customization in the game and the perk sets and the places you can go. And so what if only 200 planets actually have stuff on? That's still 200 fucking planets that have fucking shit on it, you know? Where the others
average
are like,
player's not going to go to 200 fucking planets. They're going to
Exactly.
go like fucking 10 to 20
I'm
Yeah,
gonna go
right.
to a lot.
I'm gonna go
to
as many as I fucking can, baby. Let's fucking
Yeah,
go.
and you know what? The ones that aren't inhabited by life, I'm gonna mine the shit and take every fucking material off of that planet. I am going to hollow planets and take everything I can.
Jesus Christ. So with that said, let's move into another part of this conversation here. So a big underside of this conversation is not just the marketing part of Xbox here, but is also about how PlayStation is deciding to react to Starfield's impending release here coming soon. A lot of this conversation is circulated around the release debacle around Baldur's Gate 3. Because there's a whole lot of conversation here that is talking about Baldur's Gate. 1 second, I got you, Devin. Baldur's Gate being sort of PlayStation's answer to Starfield because of Xbox's not permanent delay. I got you guys. Trust me, I got you. Xbox's delay of Baldur's Gate 3 coming to its platform. And PlayStation having its scheduled delay, with it coming to PS5. We have a PC exclusive release here that we're talking about. I want to actually toss this to DJ to start out, and we can go to Devin and then Garrick. DJ, with your experience with Baldur's Gate 3, giving it the ample amount of love that you have so far, in your opinion, is this PlayStation's answer to Starfield?
I mean, considering the amount of hot water PlayStation's been in and the amount of shit that they've got going on, dude, they have to make Baldur's Gate their game. They have to. Like, literally, I don't think there's nothing on a PlayStation 5 that would convince me to buy it besides like God of War that I would want to purchase a PS5 for. I feel like if you don't have a PC, you don't want to go through the hassle of going parts, I would buy a PS5 to experience Baldur's Gate 3. That is how strongly I feel about the game, and I know a lot of people are going to do that for this game, to experience it, because the amount of hype that the game has right now, even topping the top 10 Steam charts of all time with 700,000 peak concurrent players. That is crazy to me.
Insane.
And
numbers.
I think it's still
Insane
going
numbers. Yeah, it is.
They have to. And I think I want Starfield to be really good. You know, they sold me with that presentation. Even if Starfield's 80% of what I experienced in Baldur's Gate, I would consider that a massive success.
Okay.
Like, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Devin, let's go to you, my friend. You had your hand raised.
It's not PlayStation's answer at all. There's only a delay because they're having issues with the Series X on co-op drop-in, drop-out functionality right now.
Okay.
Okay. This game is coming out.
It's the Series S specifically. They're having some issues with co-op.
Just the Series S. Which this is the first time in any stance that conversation of a game being held back on Xbox is this is case in point. This is the first time we've ever seen it. And it makes sense. Compared to the Series X, the PS5 and a PC, the S does lack, right? It just does.
Sure.
But
apples to apples comparison, it can't compete. Like when you just look at the stats.
Yeah.
And they're just working on that right now. The game is 100% confirmed still coming to Xbox platform. This is not a PlayStation 5 exclusive in any way. Larian has released a statement describing it in full. And this game will be coming out on Xbox. So I don't think this is a PlayStation's answer at all. This is just more of a coincidence. And just like if you have a PS5 and you can't wait to play the game and your only options is PS5 or Xbox, here you go. You know, I don't think this is any sort of answer or anything like that, because from what I've heard from everybody who has been playing the game, and this is like coming from reviewers and other people alike, keyboard and mouse is the way to play this game, not on controller. Not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's just been conversation around controllers still feeling okay. As far as you know,
it doesn't feel the worst.
TTRPG,
It's not like
too
complicated.
Garrick, was your question related to that, or could I ask one quick thing before coming to you?
It was related to that, yeah.
Okay, go ahead, so you can follow through.
Yeah, but no, I mean, just to kind of piggyback off of Devin, I literally think that the delay is just a happy accidental boon for PlayStation at the moment.
Yeah.
Because I keep looking at like the exclusives they have lined up for the end of the year, and obviously like really the only thing they have, right? And if you're looking like in terms of scale and like competitive like purchases, like Spider-Man 2 is going to be like their big one, right?
There we go.
Where that's the only thing. It's in the same time slot. It has the hype. I as an individual, and I know I'm not the only one who feels this way. Like I am eager to purchase the PlayStation 5 console for this game. I know there are some other folks that feel the same, right? And on top of that, we forget that PlayStation just had a massive success with Final Fantasy 16. They're not everybody says they're in hot water, but they've had some successful releases this year, and the lineup that they have set up for the remainder of the year feels strong and stable for what the platform is trying to do. I do think that the delay on Xbox for Baldur's Gate does absolutely hurt the console a little bit. And yes, I think it's going to be a benefit to PlayStation for them to have that weird sort of accidental timed exclusivity on their console, because I firmly do believe that there are people not interested in PC gaming that will go to a PlayStation 5 to experience this game, because at the end of the day, even if the controller's going to hamper some people, the plug and play of a console environment is just really, really open to people. And Baldur's Gate's going to be one of those games where, unless you've got a top tier rig, you're going to spend a lot of time fucking with your settings to get this game to play well. And so being able to play it early on a PlayStation 5, as opposed to a possible 2024 release that we're looking at for Baldur's Gate 3 on Xbox right now, that's a big benefit. But I just think it's an accidental one.
So my hand up was first. Fuck both of you.
I'll
I'll get to you guys here in just a quick second, because I actually have a question for you guys. So with that said, we saw Xbox not necessarily struggle, but they haven't been perfect this year. We've seen Redfall. We saw some other releases that were a little bit shaky. Nothing that was enough to crucify Xbox by any means, because we also saw some really great stuff from Xbox. PlayStation has also had some strangely all right steadiness throughout the course of this year, as mentioned with Final Fantasy 16, as we saw with God of War Ragnarok. There's been some games there. So I guess the bigger question at hand is not, is Baldur's Gate the answer to Starfield? The question really is Spider-Man the answer to Starfield? Because we see, as far as an exclusive versus an exclusive here, obviously PlayStation didn't develop Spider-Man to directly compete against Starfield, but there's some questions of, did they pick that release date of October 10th purposefully in response to Starfield announcing their date, and so on and so forth. Devin, your hand was raised next. Let me go ahead and give it to you.
100%. I do think they pushed it out just in case, because before Microsoft acquired Bethesda ZeniMax, Sony was trying to make this a Sony exclusive. They were trying.
They were.
They know what this game is capable of. So I think this was purposeful. And I feel like they would have released it the same way to themselves.
Sure.
Honestly. Because we saw Spider-Man 2 is very playable, very ready. It looks very good. It looks very good. It looks ready. They could release that game right now, probably.
Hot to trot, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
Probably,
Yeah. So I think they did do that purposely. Let's see here. There's
your hand was raised in regards to something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what it was now, because you just asked that question.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'll swing it back to here in a second if you want me to.
I was gonna say I think both consoles have a lineup for the end of the year that are very good. Although not all the games coming to Xbox Game Pass per se are exclusive, but having games like Lies of P coming straight to Game Pass, and stuff like that, and so on and so on. They just put GTA 5 multiplayer back on Game Pass, which is actually huge because that game is still played
Game
so
Pass,
much.
Game Pass users are eating right now, dude.
Literally the other night, Marilyn was begging me to download GTA 5.
God.
I was like, I
God.
don't think it's on Game Pass, and
And
like,
sure
okay,
enough, it
well, we
is.
can buy it. And I go and look, and I'm like, holy fuck, it is.
Yeah,
It really fucking is, dude. Holy shit.
I know they have some other things that are coming up. Where is it? I'm looking for that list coming soon.
Go ahead and find that list real quick. Let me sing this to DJ.
I found it.
Oh, you got it. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So all within September, just in September alone. Oh, by the way, we get Chainsaw Massacre on Game Pass here in 10 days.
We're gonna be playing that for Splash Dance, gentlemen. I promise you. I already have it on the calendar and everything. So we're ready to lock and loaded. Let's go.
Just to remind everybody.
Yes.
So September 5th, we're getting Starfield. September 18th, we're getting Lies of P. September 21st, we're getting Payday 3. And then there's City Skylines 2 and Persona 5 Tactica. Like, we're getting Persona 5 games on release now to Game Pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, and who knows what's going to happen with Modern Warfare 3 coming out here soon. It's probably not going to be Game Pass, but Sony probably isn't getting all the exclusive content anymore.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, like, and just to kind of reflect on what you're saying, so PS5's release calendar here, we're talking Atlas Fallen, which isn't a huge thing by any means because they're marketing.
That's coming out on Xbox as well.
That's
coming
not
out on
exclusive.
exactly. I was gonna say that's also coming out on Xbox. Immortals of Avium,
Immortals, both consoles.
both consoles. Let's see here, Armored Core 6,
Both consoles.
both consoles. Let's see, Somerville,
Both consoles.
both consoles. Yep. And then let's see here, September.
Actually, no. Somerville is already out on Xbox. It's been out for a year on Xbox.
Yeah. It's been out for a while. Baldur's Gate 3 comes out on PS5. Xbox is tentative. We have Lies of P is also coming out on PS5, but it's also coming out on Xbox. Mortal
Pass.
Kombat 1, both consoles. Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty,
Both consoles.
both consoles. So we see a repeating trend here where Xbox is capitalizing on the last quarter of this year with a bunch of games that they said, hey, you can play it on PlayStation, but you can play it for free here. You know what I'm saying? With Spider-Man kind of being the only real exception to that rule. I mean, even just kind of like further looking down the list, Spider-Man's in October. Alan Wake 2, I'm pretty sure is coming to both consoles.
Yep, it is.
Yeah.
And Metal Gear Solid Master Collection, maybe PlayStation exclusive.
No, it's both consoles.
It's both consoles. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and
That means we're getting Metal Gear Solid 4 on Xbox now.
So that literally points us Spider-Man is the only PlayStation 5 exclusive that we're getting for the rest of this year. That is a big one that people like really will wholeheartedly care about. And so it's interesting to see that comparison there.
I think Starfield is the only Xbox exclusive for the rest of the year too. Actually,
Correct. Yeah, correct.
So I feel like those are the only two comparable games in this conversation. I'm glad it took us 30 minutes to get here.
Yeah, me too. So DJ, let me swing it back to you to wrap things up here. Do you think Spider-Man has it to compete?
Yeah. I mean, we saw the reactions to the trailer that everyone had, dude. I think, like, my TikTok For You page just flooded with people reacting to that trailer, that first trailer that we saw, and the gameplay looking smooth as ever on PS5. I think PlayStation, like, that's their champion right now. That's what they're waiting on. I totally forgot about it since I'm not a PS5 owner. I forgot about Spider-Man 2. But now being reminded that that's coming out this year, that is a game that would make me want to buy a PS5. Because it looks great. And knowing what I know about people's reception to the first Spider-Man and Miles Morales, like that's going to be a great experience. But I think Starfield's gonna blow it out the water. But
God damn it, it's a fucking good game.
I feel like they're gonna
dude.
butt heads, but Starfield's gonna have more staying power than Spider-Man 2.
I think that's just kind of
games do.
inherently true, just because the type of game that it is.
Games,
Right?
they tend to make very replayable titles, in my opinion. Or like
if it's anything close to Skyrim level popularity, dude, It's
and
like,
if they include mod content, like fucking forget about it. The game's gonna be around forever.
Yeah, that's
which 100% that's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, Bethesda loves mods.
Yeah. That they even put it on Xbox. They put the mods on Xbox.
But they've literally incorporated third-party mods into the game first party. That's how much that they love mods.
DJ, Spider-Man, and Miles Morales are on PC.
Yes, and you need to play.
I have both of them.
Okay.
Good.
I haven't played them yet.
You need to fucking beat both those goddamn
Play
games because Spider-Man 2, even though it's not going to make the big wave that Starfield did, or will, excuse me, is still going to fucking rock our socks off. So I'm
gonna wait for it. I'm gonna wait 2 years for it to get on PC.
Polar Nights and John, I love this in the men's cams. It is the perfect evolution of beard growth. We get that so often. That is not the first time we've heard that.
You are not the first person to say those exact words.
Yeah. I fucking love that.
If I had $1 every time someone said that, I have like 3. Like
I want like a compilation with that. So we got to start clipping it when it happens because it's starting to happen just enough.
Dude. Guys, let's talk about our schedule for the rest of this week. So, no content tomorrow because it's Wednesday. We take Wednesdays off now.
Fuck Wednesdays.
But Thursday, we have the Shipwreck Show live recording. If you guys are on our Discord and you are a Twitch subscriber, you have access to a little channel in there that is called the Shipwreck Submissions channel. And you are able to go in there and ask us any question. Give us any topic that you want us to answer for you guys live on the show. We'll pick the best questions that we think will make the best content, and we will give you our most absurd, ridiculous fucking answers to those questions on the Shipwreck Show live for you guys to hear and react to. So please join us for that. That's 7 p.m. Pacific time right here at twitch.tv/Kraken Show. And then Friday, our little change for this month starts where we will not be doing our Splash Damage multiplayer gameplay stream. We will be instead going to the movies, because on Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific time here on Twitch, we are going to be doing our official spoiler-free review of The Last Voyage of the Demeter right here for you guys. So come in and join us, 12 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be here for you guys. In the meantime, please, guys, let us know your thoughts on Starfield, Xbox's marketing with the game, whether or not you think it will compete with Spider-Man, not Baldur's Gate, because that is a game that will be coming to Xbox. We will see it. We will see it. It will happen.
Yeah.
And that game's going to make a lot of money doing it. Please let us know if you're excited to play Starfield, just as excited as we are. And let us know how many times you watched the presentation, because that presentation is so fucking good.
And we're probably getting another one with Gamescom.
I fucking
honestly.
sure hope so, man. I sure hope so. But anyways, this has been the Good Kraken Podcast, your choice for all the nerdy video game and pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you wanted to hear live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and Saturdays at 12 p.m. right here at twitch.tv/GoodKrakenShow. If you enjoy the show, you can head on over to our Discord channel where I'm dropping stuff, and you can submit questions and topics to the show, get exclusive post-show content, and soon have early access episodes before they go live on podcasts and video services across the digital sea.
Yar.
Thank you, gentlemen. But you can also support us by going to our YouTube channel, clicking that beautiful bell and big red button, or by subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Good Kraken with an exclamation mark and leaving a review there. We have to get going, everybody. But until next time, my friends.
On
Please-
that note, here is a passage from JPEG Mafia's latest release. Stop scaring the hoes. Play that shit that'll have them touch they toes. We don't want to hear that weird shit no more. What the fuck is that? Give me back my aux cord. Stop scaring those hoes.